Hello everybody. Hi Simplifiers, how are you doing? This is Diana from Diana Simplifies, and today we are congratulating Sunday Dawn on 1 year of Tiny Tidy Tuesdays. I think I've been here ever since week number 2. That's actually one of the questions, so I won't expound upon that right now. I'll go ahead and start. We're going to do a Q&A today, and I'll go ahead and start with the first question after congratulating Sunday Dawn, of course. Why does the concept of tiny tidying work for you? Okay, so first of all, I just want to say I never called it a tiny tidy, but I have been doing small, work around the home in small chunks for many, many years. This has gone on for quite a long time, just out of, I would say, out of necessity. I work. I have a house cleaning business. If you're not familiar with me or my channel, if you're new here, you might not realize that. I talk about it quite a bit, but I like to show you how to clean things in different ways. I watch everybody else's cleaning channels, and then I like to show you how I do it, which is completely different than the way everyone else does it. So always stay tuned for that. I like to do things in different ways from the way everyone else does it. I don't use method cleaner. I don't use, what's the other expensive thing? The expensive cleaners that everyone uses, I don't use any of that. I use about the cheapest thing I can find, and it's dishwashing liquid. That's what I clean with. Dishwashing liquid and a Mr. Clean, little sponge. So stay tuned for that content. If you've never seen me do a cleaning video, I clean with the cheapest, easiest thing to find on the planet, and that's actually the easiest way to clean. And if you'll clean consistently, you'll never need any of those expensive, high-dollar, Mrs. Myers, that's it. You won't need any of the high-dollar cleaners. Now, I know a lot of you like the scents. The scents kill me. I can't do the Mrs. Myers and the Caldera, I don't know what it is. I have a little something going on right now, so just excuse my voice. I'm so sorry. So why does the concept of tiny tidying work for me? So basically, I've always done, my house has always been done in a tiny tidy. I've never just the only time I clean my house top to bottom, the only time, is when I have company come over. And we have so many pets, it keeps people from wanting to come over, which is fine with me because I'd just as soon go to their house. So yeah, I don't do my whole house at once. When I go to work, I have to do somebody's entire house. So for years and years, I was vacuuming every day, somebody's house, their entire house. I was vacuuming their whole house every single day, somebody, but like 5 or 6 different houses a week, vacuuming their entire house, mopping their entire house, cleaning all their bathrooms, doing all these things. So when it came to my home, of course, I am not vacuuming, dusting, cleaning my bathrooms. I'm not doing all that in one day. It's occasionally I will vacuum my whole house in one day. But yeah, I've had my cleaning business for, what are we now? I think we're at 24 years. Is that right? I started in 1999. Now we're at 2023. Yeah. So I started in July 1999. So I'll be celebrating 24 years this year. So yeah, for 24 years I've been doing this, and probably before that, because I worked a job, a life insurance company, before I started my business. And that was like the most full-time I had ever done. And when you work full-time, you don't feel like cleaning your whole house at once. You feel like doing little chunks. So that I just did it out of necessity. It was totally out of necessity. Why do I do it out of necessity? I do not feel like cleaning my entire house in one time. And it doesn't make any sense anyway to do it that way. Okay, number 2, how did you find the playlist? Okay, so I found the playlist through Melinda, Plain and Simple. So if you don't know, Melinda from Melinda Plain and Simple, and I actually started, before Tiny Tidy ever started, we started 10 Minutes Better. And I actually came up with the name for 10 Minutes Better. I don't get credit for any of it. I want to do the collaboration. I think this is be great, but I don't feel like I want people to say every single time they do our collaboration, that Diana came up with this idea. So it was never brought up that Diana helped come up with the 10 Minutes Better idea, because I didn't feel that was necessary. So it's been Melinda's collaboration the whole time. It was her idea to collaborate. It was never my idea. She asked me, did I want to do it? I said yes, and I think I know I was the first person to collaborate with her. I don't remember if other people joined us the first time, but a year ago, it was definitely the 2 of us, and then if she invited other people, I don't remember. But yeah, so we actually started that before the Tiny Tidies started. So our thing started first, but it was definitely Melinda's idea to have the collaboration. 10 Minutes Better name was my idea, and actually I kind of was joking, and Melinda used it, and for a year I've been asking her to change the name because I don't think it helps me at all. She gets great views on hers. I don't get great views on mine. So for a year I've been asking her, please can we change the name? Because I'm like, I don't think it's helping me to call it 10 Minutes Better. I think we need a jazzier name. But anyway, and I think she would come up with it. Honestly, she would come up with a much better name. I don't think, you know, for me, it was just off the top of my head. Dana K. White had been doing an hour, 1 hour better. And I was like, let's just call it 10 minutes. It's just 10 minutes better. Because that's how I do things. 10 minutes, 5-minute chunks, 10-minute chunks, 15-minute chunks. So that's just the way I've always done it. So how did I find the playlist? Very easily through Melinda. Melinda told me about the Tiny Tidies, and she told me about Sunday Dawn, and that's how I got involved. So yes, that's how. Melinda and I had already been friends. We met on Minimal Moms Facebook page. No, that's not right. We met on Minimal Moms YouTube in the comments, and I said to her, she was at the time, I think she was called Mimsy Whimsy or something like that. And at the time I said to her, you should start a channel. I just started a channel, or I already had my channel, but it was going nowhere. And she was like, oh yeah, you know, I'll think about that. And I like to write poetry. And so she started her channel and she started decluttering and writing a poem with all of her declutters. So anyway, that's how all that came together. So those of you who love Melinda, it's because of me, because I said, you should start a channel. And so she did right after that. I mean, and it took off right after that. Okay, what's number 3? What's your favorite color? Why, or what feelings or memories does it bring up for you? I don't have all these memories associated with stuff like that. So I actually have a very bad memory. So I have some memories, but as far as colors, I don't have a memory that's associated with it. My favorite color is blue. I love any type of blue. I love navy blue. I love sky blue. Our bedroom, if you've noticed, our rooms are all very colorful. Did that on purpose. Our bedroom is a baby, kind of a sky blue color. Den, same color. We have used that same blue. It's called Toscana blue, if you've ever want to look for it. Hard to find, actually. But anyway, we love our blues. We love our burgundies. This room's green. Kitchen's yellow. We love our bright colors. My husband went along with it, thank the Lord, because it has just been awesome for us to live in a house full of color. As of right now, we're having storms. It's a dark day out, and I'm surrounded by beauty every day. It's so beautiful in here, all my beautiful colors. So yeah, I like a lot of color. I like all colors. We lived here years and years. The people that had this house had painted a lot of it like a white or an off-white. We lived like that for years, and finally it's like, I'm sick of this. I've figured out what I want, and I'm never gonna live with white, off-white, beige. I'll never live with any of that again. Now, obviously, a lot of other people like that, but it's just not me. I wear a ton of color. I like to be surrounded by color. So it doesn't have to be blue, but navy blue, if I had to be pinned down to one specific color, navy blue would be my favorite. All right, any pets? So everybody knows I have pets. Names, other details, how I got them. My goodness, how did I get them? Ranger is my only dog. He is a rescue. My friend that I grew up with owns a dog rescue. She has cats too, but I think primarily dogs. She gave me Ranger. I didn't have to sign up I didn't have to fill out any forms or sign any papers or do anything, because she'd known me forever. She let me have him. That's been a big deal, because as a lot of you know, he's got a lot of anxiety, so there's a lot that's wrapped up with that. But I never been sorry I had him, but there's a lot going on there. Let's see if I can do this. Can I do it age down? I don't even know if I can. Fallon, let's do it in the rooms. Fallon and Mila are in here with me. Fallon and Mila. And there, Sunshine, Jasper. Sunshine's the orange. Jasper's the tuxedo kitty. Cricket is the gray fluffy. Mila's the white fluffy. And Fallon is the diluted tortoiseshell. So Fallon is in here with me. You'll see her a lot of times on Dollar Tree videos, and she'll be doing this to me. That's Fallon. She's a diluted tortoiseshell. She's long-haired. All of the cats are street cats. We rescued them off the streets. They all have horrible issues. Cricket was almost dead when we found her. She was crying. Her siblings were dead. I could not get her to come out from under a building. We've had her for like 12 years. She's been sick the whole time, I think. Lucky me. I was the one that convinced Spencer to go get her. Big mistake. She'd been sick the whole time. And she doesn't even like me. But no, I couldn't leave, I can't leave a cat suffering. So that was never going to happen. But although I do wish there was a lady at the vet's office that wanted her because she was so beautiful. She was the most beautiful kitten. She's still beautiful, but she was a beautiful kitten. And the only thing I regret was not leaving that kitten with that lady, because she would have taken good, it was like a tech at the office. She would have taken great care of Cricket, and I wouldn't have had to deal with her throwing up for 12 years. Okay, so, and Cricket and I are not close. Cricket loves her daddy, but we are not close. And I'm being partially facetious, but however, I do, because we have had so many cats, I do wish I had left her there, because it probably would have been better for her. Less stress, would have probably been less throwing up. So probably being with another person would have been less stressful. Okay, so, and then we got the 2 outdoor cats, Finn and Fia. That's kind of a long story how we got them. I've talked about that before. I don't want to get into that again. Number 5, what's your favorite place to visit or vacation? Okay, so we haven't vacationed in years because all the pets need meds. It's very hard for us to get away. We do have a neighbor that does help with that if we need to get away for like a day or two, but, and that worked out great, thankfully. But as far as being gone for very long, Sunshine is doing a lot better than she was, but she needs medication. She needs her medication. So we can't just go leave her. So, and Ranger's anxiety is so bad, he has to have medication. So, and now Mila's got the situation where she also needs medication. So I just got word about Mila. If you've been following me, you know that Mila had some test run. She's the white fluffy cat. She had an eye issue, but she also had platelets that were low for whatever. And see, that's what's wrong with Sunshine too. So it's just weird. Like, why are we having 2 cats with platelets low? So anyway, they just called me about the results today. All of her tests were fine, which I spent hundreds of dollars finding out all her tests were fine. Yes, amen. Why not? Why not? And then the guy had the nerve to say to me, well, we really thought they'd all be fine. Why? Why did we run them? Why? Why didn't we just try the eye drop? Because what we did was a $60 eye drop that I spent hundreds of dollars for. Okay, $60 eye drop. That's what we did. So anyway, whatever. I was just like, whatever. So it's just our life. Our whole vacation budget just goes right along these pets, because why shouldn't they all get whatever they need? So anyway, yeah. So our favorite places to visit if we were able to leave home. We've been to every island on Hawaii except for the Big Islands. That's the one we did not get to go to. My parents took us every time. Those were wonderful vacations. They're not able to travel like that anymore. So, of course we don't. But even before that, we couldn't go. So the last time they took my sister, which I thought was great, my sister and her husband. So they had taken us, I think, like 3 or 4 times on different trips. And then we've also been on cruises that we love. So we love to cruise anywhere in the Caribbean. I would like to go back to Puerto Rico. Of course, I have not been since the horrible, horrible storm where everything was like wiped out. So I don't know how nice it is now, but when we were there before, I loved it. I just loved Puerto Rico. So that's where I would like to go back to. But yeah, Hawaii is really far as the flight. I don't do well on long flights. It's hard on me. So I would prefer not to go to Hawaii just because of the flights, but it's beautiful there. I mean, you can't beat it once you get there. But the flight is very, very wearing on me because it's like 12 hours straight and I just don't do well. I don't sleep. I don't rest. I just am just 12 hours of just being on that flight. And it's very, like this, and they don't want you to get up. It's not safe. They don't want you to get up. They give you about this much water. When you're on a flight, you need to drink tons of water. You need to get up. You need to stretch. You need to do a little exercise, and they don't want you doing that. So I'm really against all that flying because of that. So anywhere I can get in a few hours, that's great, but no. So yeah, if I ever get to go anywhere else, I'm going back to the Caribbean because it's much closer. What can I say? Much closer. How do your family and friends feel about your YouTube channel? I have no idea because I don't talk to anybody about it really. I don't really advertise it. I have a Facebook account I really do not use anymore. I pretty much got off Facebook about a year ago. It's a whole long story. I spent too much time on there, so I just quit using it. And I get on usually now once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, something like that. Like I haven't been on there right now. I don't think I've been on there in weeks. It might have been a week, but I think it's been maybe 2 weeks. I don't really talk about YouTube on there. I have a few of my YouTube friends watch this. So I do have a few friends from YouTube. A few of my Facebook friends. I can't even talk. A few of my Facebook friends watch. And they were on my jewelry lives. So Rebecca, I don't think Rebecca watches anymore because she's busy, but because she moved. But Rebecca was on my paparazzi lives all the time. Alan, hello Alan. Alan and Jackie, his wife. Alan is always watching. Appreciate that, Alan. Alan is always here, always faithful. But yeah, as far as like my real friends, I don't really talk about YouTube that much. My parents don't love that I declutter, actually, because they apparently my dad, it came out in conversation, my dad feels like that I should keep everything that's ever been gifted to me. And I've removed thousands of things from my house over the years. So sorry, Dad. I do not have the place to keep everything that's ever been gifted to me. It's just not possible. So yes, things get removed frequently from my house. A lot of the stuff that gets removed is stuff I have bought. I buy it and then it goes out. You know, I bought a bunch of cleaners and 2 years later, they're leaving my house. They're perfectly good cleaners. I gave them to someone else. I'm letting someone else deal with them. I just was not going to use them. So there's nothing wrong with them. So yeah, I declutter my own. It's not like I'm just picking people out of the crowd and going, I'm going to declutter your stuff. I'm decluttering everybody's stuff that's ever come in here that now belongs to me. If you gave it to me, it's not out of the realm. Sorry, that's just the way it is. You can't keep everything. You just can't. You know, and if you can, God bless you. I cannot. I have to have space in my house. I like lots of empty space. I'm not a minimalist, but I like a lot of space to move. I like room, space to move. Okay, so how do they feel? Most of them just don't even know. Are you an introvert or extrovert? I am smack in the middle. If I do a personality test, it shows me smack in the middle between introvert and extrovert. I'm married to a very quiet person who never speaks. He almost never talks. It's funny. Sometimes he'll get on the phone or he'll talk to my parents and he'll talk, but he doesn't talk to me that much. So sometimes I get a little offended. It's like, well, you never talk to me. Well, what did you want me to talk to you about? It's like, I don't know, just the weather. I mean, the fact that it's pouring rain right now. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Okay, there's Mila right there. There's the one that I spent all the money on at the eye specialist. There she is. As I call her my $1 million cat. It wasn't that much, but it was a ridiculous amount. Okay, so let me see if I can go to the next one here. Okay, so yeah, I'm smack in the middle. Yeah, is it shocking to people you have a channel? Most people don't even know, I don't think. I know my sister was telling my mom about my channel because I did advertise on Facebook one time because I did my lasagna recipe and I did put that up and I was like, if you didn't know I have a YouTube channel, I did that one time. And so I think my sister saw it and then she was like, oh, she said to my mom about Dinah's been cooking and it's pretty interesting. And then I quit cooking because I wasn't getting the views. It's like I'll get the views for a certain amount of time and then the views will go down to nothing. And it's like, well, I'm only getting 10 views on something. It doesn't even make sense. So I cooked for a while and then I quit. Some of them got really, 300 or 400 views. Okay, give us a quick overview of your homemaking or decluttering journey over the years. How it's evolved. I think the way it's evolved, especially this year, my decluttering journey has gone on for years and years. It's not a new thing. I've been decluttering for years. I would say I'm not getting into these percentages. I hear all this. I've decluttered 85% of my home. I do not know. I do not think I've decluttered 85% of my home. I have decluttered thousands of items. I can tell you that much. For a long time, I loaded up the truck and took everything to I think I might have done Goodwill a little, but we have a Bible thrift store and it's like 45 minutes from my house, but so is a lot of the Goodwills are a long way from my house. The good Goodwill is 45 minutes away if I wanted to go actually buy something. But so like 30 minutes to go to Goodwill or 45 to go to the Bible thrift store. So if I was in the area, I would load the truck up and I would take piles and piles of boxes and boxes and boxes and I loaded up and I loaded up and that went on forever. And finally they put this little food pantry across the street. It's a very small little structure. And I thought, you know what, why am I driving stuff 45 minutes from my house when I got this thing over here? I could just take stuff in little amounts. So a little bit at a time. Like the other day, I took like 7 cleaners over there. They are gone. So generally my stuff's gone within 24 hours at the little food pantry. It stays very busy. I can see it from my house. I see people driving. I see people walking up to it. It stays very busy. But yeah, that's really how it's changed is I don't have to drive anywhere to drop my stuff off. I throw away almost nothing. Juicy one, most embarrassing moment. The only thing I could come up with for this, and this was very embarrassing. I've had embarrassing things. This might have been the most embarrassing. Spencer and I were at a concert downtown Memphis years and years ago. I don't remember what the building was called. And I believe it was a Christian concert. I believe I inadvertently walked into the men's restroom. It took me a while to figure out what was going on. I'm not sure. I might have even walked into a stall. I think I walked by the urinals, not even thinking. Okay. Walked into a stall. I think maybe I went to the stall and then realized I walked back out. I can't remember. I may have actually used the bathroom while I was in there. I think I left, but I remember like turning every shade of like red, purple, nearly falling out, hyperventilating, the whole 9 yards. It was so funny. So yeah, that was, we weren't married, I don't think. So, I mean, that would be over 30 years ago. So I do remember that. I'm sure there have been other things since then, but I just don't remember them. Okay, 3 things you bring to a deserted island, nothing useful. Okay, 3, I cannot leave my house without Ranger. Sunshine also has to go with me, and my husband. So they're not things, they're actually my treasured, my peeps. So Sunshine, my orange cat, of course, is sick. Ranger, my anxiety dog, and my husband. I would have to go to the deserted island with them. I don't know how that would work because they all have to have medicine. So we all have to have medicine. So all 4 of us would have to have drugs. So we'd also all have to have drugs if we were going. But in a perfect world, we wouldn't need any drugs. We could just go to the deserted island, hang out, swim, have a good time. Ranger hates water, so that wouldn't work. But he would like the weather. Okay, and the last one, do you have a stupid human trick? No, I don't. I don't think I have any stupid human tricks. But I hope this has been interesting. I've gone on and on as usual. I'm a big talker. So Melinda asked me, was I going to do a tiny tidy on the same video? And I'm like, no, because it would go on all day because I'm a big talker. So I've talked your ear off. I hope you know more about me now. Jenny asked me something about how do I use the, what is that stuff called? That natural stuff I use that I turn into bug spray. Basically, all I do is just, I can't remember what it is called now. It's that natural soap. Anyway, Jenny, you know what I'm talking about. I just would put it, I didn't even put it in a spray bottle. I actually put it in like a soap dispenser, but a spray bottle would work either way. I would just like, I don't know why I mix it in a soap dispenser, but you could just put it in a spray bottle with water, spray it around where you're having the ant problem. But I think the citrus one worked better. Dr. Bronner, I said. Dr. Bronner's, that liquid, it comes, they have like the little and then the larger. And she also said she noticed I was coughing. Yes, that cleaner makes me cough. Almost all cleaners and the naturals, anything that says natural makes me cough. So like I can't do any of the natural cleaners. I can't be around vinegar and water. That grips my lungs more than any cleaner out there. So, you know, just because something says it's natural does not mean it's good for you personally. It might be good for 90 other people and it might make you terribly sick. So just always be careful. Do what your body tells you to do. So I use a lot of dishwashing liquid. That's pretty much what I clean with. I don't use harsh cleaners really ever. I just don't use anything harsh because there's no need to. If you'll clean your house a little at a time, you're never going to need a harsh, stinky cleanser again. Really. You can use a little bit of dishwashing liquid. Dawn is always the best, but if you don't have the budget for that, just get some. Who cares? The cheapest thing you can find is fine. And Mr. Clean Eraser. Get the brand name. Do not get the cheap ones. Get the brand name eraser. The Walmart ones, the Great Value ones work too. So I don't, the Dollar Tree ones do not work for me, but the Great Value ones work and the Mr. Clean Eraser ones work. So that's, yeah, that's all I have as far as mixing that up. I don't know how much I mixed. I just squirted that around and then I would kind of let it sit. And as far as the bugs, and then I would wipe it in and I would just wipe my like if they were in my bathroom bother me, I would kill them. First, I would just kill all the ants. I would kill all the ants and then I would wipe it down like with that stuff every single day. And a lot of times I would notice if I wiped it down every single day, I wouldn't have the problem. I have the citrus and the peppermint. The citrus, I think, worked better, but citrus is not good for, I think it's cats, and I did not know that. So, I don't know, it might be lemon, but a lot of this essential oil stuff, you know, you think you're doing such a great thing, you're doing this, you know, peppermint, so great, lemon, essential oil, so great. A lot of stuff is very toxic for your pets. So, while you think you're doing that natural thing, you could be doing something very toxic for your pets. So, just keep that in mind, you know, as long as they're not walking through it, but they probably also don't need to be breathing it. So, I I think when I found out about the citrus, I kind of quit using it because that stuff's down there and I haven't been using it. So it's another thing I could get rid of because I'm not using it. Because it makes me nervous because now I know it's really, you got to be very, very careful with essential oil, anything around your pets. You just don't want to be doing that around your pets unless you're well versed in the essential oils. So, everything's dangerous. Everything's a chemical, even if it's natural. There's a lot of natural stuff that's harmful. So anyway, Jenny, I hope that answers your question. I don't know how I mixed it. It wasn't even half and half. It was like mostly water, a few drops of Dr. Bronner's. All right, talk to you guys later. Hope you've enjoyed this extremely long Tiny Tuesday, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.